I did. I did see that.
Oh,
Come on. There we go.
So let's see. I want to.
And there's Joanne.
ah.
Moki, you're going to have to leave in a minute. Good morning, Joanne.
Good morning. Sorry, a few minutes late.
Well, we were having a nice chat.
Good. Okay. Glad I gave you that space.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
uh,
Uh, well, um, Moki, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to move you on.
Oh,
But
no.
I don't want to go.
That's
He'll-
exactly what Cody's going to tell me as soon as we have to stand up and do any
uh,
energy work.
uh,
Yep.
any questions, thoughts, requests? Anything at all?
Hmm. I think so. I mean, it was a deep class last week, so I
yeah,
think it'll take a while for us to absorb it all.
yeah, yeah. I agree,
Yeah,
Joanne. Yeah.
It's,
I'm still,
go ahead.
go ahead. Well, I'm still feeling like I'm not truly dissolving as much as I'm just sinking my chi, trying to, I don't, I'm still struggling to feel that
Mm,
that's becoming effective and probably just needs more practice, more time. I think that awareness of it might help, but
Mm.
it just doesn't. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't. I feel like I can feel a blockage. Sometimes it's not consistent,
Mm-hmm.
but I just, resting on it and things like that, I'm not sure that I'm really effectively dissolving yet.
I'd like to piggyback on that, Linda, because I know exactly what you're saying. And David, a comment that came up in the lesson last week really struck a nerve with me. You said there are varying levels of ability, like just natural ability,
Mhm.
going from numb to extremely sensitive. And I'm beginning to wonder if I'm more on the numb side. I mean, as you know from past classes, it took me a long time to feel energy. And so I'm kind of where you are, Linda, where I'm a big breakthrough for me is when I could actually feel that chi, moving. But in terms of feeling a blockage, is it one? Is it not? Yeah, I'm still I feel like at the very beginning. So just went back to getting back to my breathing, concentrating on getting the breathing going through my body because that's something physical that I know I can feel, but
yeah.
I keep going back to that because I'm not feeling the chi unblocking because I'm
Mm.
not
Mm,
sure I'm feeling a block, as you said, Linda. I agree.
mm, mm.
It, you're you're perfectly normal, both of you.
Just numb. I think I'm on the numb end of the spectrum. I really do,
Well,
which is
And it's
and
okay. I
spectrum.
mean,
and
That's okay.
yeah, that's okay.
and you, yeah, exactly. You need not to criticize yourself for that, but perhaps accept that that may be where you are.
Yes, yes.
Um, I always at this point in this particular conversation point out that one of my principal teachers, Dr. J. Dunbar, doesn't feel the energy strongly.
It's fascinating.
Clearly,
Yeah.
he feels it clearly, but he does not feel it strongly, and it took him a long time to do that.
So my question, David, is if you're not feeling it strongly, is it still having the same benefit as if you
Yes,
felt it strongly?
yes,
Okay.
and no.
Okay.
Yes,
Now that
certainly.
you feel better. No.
Yeah, it doesn't really help, does it? Um, it's still there is still benefit, but it's not as much benefit as when you do feel it.
Yep.
And I use the word clearly intentionally because it doesn't have to be strong. You just have to be clear about its presence. And I'm going to talk more today about um, the four conditions and um, blockages. Um, as we move towards inner dissolving, and we're not really there yet. We'll get to that next year. Um,
Well, that's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, in 2 weeks, exactly.
yeah.
Or 3.
Well, but think how much practice you could do by then.
That's
Oh,
true. How much better will be. I just want to say something before you go on, David. I don't want to
Yeah.
interrupt you though.
So
I
it's
mean,
fun.
I do feel the energy and I feel it strongly, but I still have a challenge with dissolving.
Yeah.
And I felt like last week's class, we have been talking about ice to water, water to gas. And I think, my thinking head gets into gas and gas rises, it's kind of like gets a little crazy, and the just a concept of inner dissolving, just the words are a little different as it was described, and that helped me with some aha moments. Maybe a little step closer to feeling the blockages more strongly. My own observation is that at this age we have figured out how to ignore blockages in order to survive, right?
so
Absolutely.
Both
true.
physical and emotional. We're just like, yep, well, they're there. That's life, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yep.
now we have to kind of regain a level of sensitivity that we've kind of, thought we'd close some doors on, for some good reasons, right? So, I mean,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's always healthier to do that no matter what.
And
So
and
anyway,
often we close those doors because it's painful,
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
and so it
Yeah,
becomes we have a resistance to opening the door, and
yeah,
it as I have said before, that's part of why it takes a considerable amount of bravery to do this work,
yeah,
because you are asked to face things that maybe you have been avoiding for a while.
yeah.
And I understand, Joanne, what you're saying about the word gas. I sometimes have wondered if there might have been a better word to translate the Chinese, but it's important to remember that the release of the gas stage is only applicable to the physical energy body.
Uh-huh.
We don't once you move to the etheric and the emotional and mental and psychic and karmic, etc., um, your release then has to move towards inner space, towards
Uh-huh.
emptiness. And that's another whole, as we've been discussing in our class yesterday, that's another whole practice to
Yes.
become aware, not just aware that emptiness exists, but to actually be present to it.
Right. But we had not talked about inner space until last week, I don't believe.
No, we had not.
So that's, I mean, in any of my classes. So I think that that's, yeah, that was kind of some of the aha. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, and that is a, a term that is used in um, Taoist meditation. It and certainly it would be appropriate to use it in some places in Qigong and Neigong particularly, but usually it's reserved for meditation.
Okay. Interesting.
Is
Yeah.
the inner space, is that similar to the Buddhists' idea of emptiness? Is
Yes,
that where that comes in? Okay.
yeah, both Buddhist and Taoist concepts of emptiness are similar. I won't say they're identical. Certainly, the approach to arriving at them is different, but the concept is much the same. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So again, I would like you to do a little bit of heaven and earth, and remembering that you, and I said that, probably said this last week, I think, but you really want to allow heaven and earth to begin to open up your awareness of the energy. Because as you develop your ability to use heaven and earth effectively, it moves a lot of energy. And so, um, in light of our talking and what I would like to still accomplish today, just 6 repetitions, okay?
Okay.
And I might add in here that you can do different numbers of heaven and earth. Usually, it's done. It should be done in single or in even numbers. 20 is the ideal, but everybody's body doesn't necessarily allow them to do that every time, or time doesn't allow. So don't feel that you have to do 20, because if you have to rush, they're not very effective at all. Um, so better to do 6 really well than to do 20 rushed. I guess that's what I wanted to say. Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So sorry.
Sit, sit, excuse me, sit. So I'm going to talk some more today about inner dissolving and blockages. And I might just say I'm going to do a quite edited version of today's notes. So you might find it helpful to read them when you have the time, if you have time during this season. So it's very useful in meditation to not confuse the meditation with what it actually is and what you're trying to do. What we could call this is how to recognize and resolve energy blockages. And that is the big thing you're trying to do in Taoist meditation. So being able to recognize a blockage is good because it's good to know what the problem is. However, in and of itself, it does not actually help you that much. It is not a question of just recognizing the problem. You must resolve it until it is gone and you are free. And that's where we go back to ice to water. So the first thing is to recognize what is the nature of the blockage of whatever it is that is bothering you. Something that is helpful to realize about Taoist meditation is that historically the beginning practices were qi practices of all kinds. The modern term, of course, being qigong. And a higher level of a higher level qigong is about your body, and at an even higher level, Taoist meditation is about the rest, the physical, emotional, mental, psychic, karmic, and essence. It's about the stuff that Buddhas are made of. Now, people know a little bit about it since it is in most of the newspapers and magazines. Buddhism. The Dalai Lama was terribly helpful in this when he was awarded the Nobel Prize. And the Nobel Prize gave him and Buddhism a lot of publicity. But that hasn't happened in Taoism. The texts of Taoism are somewhat popular. Many people have read the Tao Te Ching or Chuang-Tzu. And while those books can capture people's imagination, they can often have no idea what they are really talking about. Unfortunately, most translators just try to string the words together in a way that sounds nice. But when we think about what's really bothering you in your inner world, or the potentiality you have for your inner world to be a truly glorious place to live in. We're trying to arrive at a place where the things of life that make life a drag just don't bother you. And the same things that normally wouldn't affect you can make you very happy, beyond belief. And this is not a small thing. Now, if we ask the question, what creates energy blockages? The first thing is to realize that the Taoists are a bit like quantum physicists. They think that the entire universe is comprised of energy doing various and sundry things. The Taoists understood this a long time before quantum physicists. They observed nature and they observed themselves. And they found out through an intense amount of self-observation that energy actually moved in the human body and affected people in very deep and profound ways. They went about it with the same enthusiasm and the diligence that modern quantum physicists are doing to create all sorts of toys that will enable us to manipulate our environment in all sorts of ways, from cell phones to who knows what. But it's a very different thing to create a rocket ship or build a city that it is to be a happy and free human being inside your own skin. So the Taoists looked at the subject of what's inside yourself. So what is an energy blockage? Where does it actually come from? Energy generally gets blocked because something in us is not balanced in some way. There is some input to it that is messing up the whole energy field. If your field is messed up, and an energy blockage will arrive that will give you a way of recognizing what connects with that, what connects with what, and a way to release it. Very simply, but not necessarily easy. Now there is the subject of karma, which is actually a way more complicated than most people think. But cause and effect for sure is a real thing. And if we do live in an energetic universe, the one thing that energy is that you don't create or destroy it, and it just keeps on changing form. That's a simple way of understanding what karma is, what it's really about. Whether you believe in past lives or you don't, or future lives or you don't. You can look at it from just what happens day to day in your real life, until if you want to start looking beyond your life, recognizing that there actually may be something beyond it. You recognize the sheer fact that the energy of life will continue to morph in so many ways. Knowing the knowing the life we know now, and knowing what we know about the universe and how big it is, it was a shocker a couple of years ago, a little more than a couple of years ago, when the Hubble telescope discovered 100 million galaxies, not simply systems, galaxies, in that little patch of space that was always thought to be dark. We have no idea how much is out there. Nobody has any idea. And ever since, every single time we think we have an idea, we find out that, oh well, we just couldn't measure accurately, and there's actually going to be a lot more out there. So all this energy is moving and changing and doing something. It's doing it in the universe, and it's doing it inside ourselves. So energy blockages are what frees us from what prevents us from being complete. Whether you want to use the term enlightened, or you want to use the word free, or if you want to use the words that which you can be has occurred, as opposed to everything is always in a state of potential, but yet we cannot see how it will ever resolve. So that's what meditation can do. A blockage is what prevents it. Where did it come from? Maybe karmic circumstances or whatever. Who knows? The honest and probably the only reasonable answer a person can give is who knows? Because to truly know where energy blockages come from, you truly have to know what everything in the universe is. But at a very simple human level, the nice point about it is you don't have to know. What you have to know is what is blocked inside you. And is that a good way? Is there a good way to get rid of it? And fortunately, Taoist meditation can do that. Many people are not energetically sensitive, but you can feel energy. The Taoists found that there are 4 conditions that you notice, and notice any one of the. If you notice any one of these inside you, in any way and in any form, it will give you a pretty good idea that you have an energy blockage. And although at first a blockage may seem kind of like a shadow, as you practice this meditation form a long time, you will eventually start recognizing whether something is truly blocked, and then you can then you don't need to think about the four conditions. They are sort of like training wheels when you start to learn to ride a bicycle. And that's all they are for. Now, the four conditions are very simple. It doesn't matter about what level you feel it, whether it is physical, energetic, emotional, mental, psychic, karmic, essence, or universal. It doesn't matter. They can show up anyway. And then there is a really good discussion of the four conditions, which I'm not going to go into because we've talked about it, but this will give you even more information about them. So I really highly recommend that you read that. So sit as you are and close your eyes. Find a comfortable position with a straight back. Let your head be lifted straight. And feel your spine straight. Let your breath slow and lengthen. Just relax and just be here now. Be aware of where you are. And start from the crown of your head at Bai Hui and go down slowly, down your body, and just feel where you have a blockage. And for the moment, don't try to do anything about it. Don't attempt to resolve it using ice to water to inner space. Just recognize if it is there. Continue going down your head. Be very aware and interested in what you feel. We have a lot of stuff inside ourselves. A lot of blockages. What is blocked? Just go down your body, continuing to notice and recognize each blockage that you encounter. You're just taking inventory of yourself, not being concerned whether it's good or bad, or whether you can do anything about it or not. Of course, as you're doing this, you encounter something and it brings up something that really bothers you. Then this is not so easy to do. But just keep on going anyway. And see if you can get some experience of recognizing a blockage. Feel your body. Make sure you stay present to your body. Don't let yourself just go into a headspace where it will all become ideas. Think whatever you want, feel whatever you want, but remain present to your body. You can take an idea and throw it away, and you can take an idea and put it on a piece of paper. But you can't throw away an arm or a leg. Or your heart or your liver. Let your body be very real to you. As you recognize these blockages, just stay present to your body. This isn't a head-only practice. It's a practice that always involves an awareness of the body, because that's our human condition. We have a body as part of the human condition, which doesn't mean we should think it's all and everything, because it isn't. It just means that since it's where we come from, we should at least know it's there. So again, I want you to go to the crown of your head and start down. And at the first place you find a blockage, wherever it is, let your attention focus on it. The Taoists called the blockage ice because it's stuck. And ice was always used because the really nasty emotions are ice cold ones, not the hot ones. Hot ones may be distorted. They may be very exaggerated, but people still don't become inhuman over them. Where people become inhuman is over cold emotions. When they shut down and it all goes into the mind. It all goes into the mental stuff. So find a blockage. That's ice. And then let your mind go and sit on that blockage like a hen sits on a leg. And let your mind just rest there. Recognizing and being aware of what's going on without trying to figure out what it is. As your mind stays there, like water seeping into something, let your mind begin to enter the blockage. And as you enter the blockage, relax what you feel. Open and have, instead of having any sense of closing, just open. Because that's essentially what relaxation is, opening. When you relax a body, it's obvious as the tissue gets softer. And whatever else is in your blockage, whether you recognize it or not, just relax it. Do your best to allow it to get softer. Let your awareness sit on the blockage continuously. And let your presence be present to the blockage. And allow your awareness to penetrate it. When you first begin, you may only go ice to water, and that's fine. You'll feel better. Hard to say for how long you'll feel better, but ice goes to water. However, it can always turn back into ice again. So you can be relaxed in one moment and rather tense in the next. So relaxation alone at the early stages is not resolution. Resolution means it's over. It's finished. It's done for. All time. It's not coming back. If you get to the point that you really relax, this could be an incredible benefit in many people's lives. If it's attached to something mental or something that the deep level of whatever your thinking comes from, just the ability of your emotions to really relax can begin to make a difference. to really relax that which makes you think, can take away so much of the difficulties of life. But it's not resolution. Resolution is when it doesn't come back. So ice to water. And let your mind keep on going in. When someone has been holding on to something for a long time, when they let go, it can often be a bit of a shock. It can often be something that is so different that can change the way they are experiencing everything. It can be mind-blowing. Or it can just be, that's okay, that's cool. This should happen all the time. So don't make a big deal about it. Big deals tend to get made in the beginning until you start realizing that you can let go of anything. There is no trauma too deep. There's no habit too deep that you can't let go of it if you want. You get the release of all of a sudden, everything will just let go. And when you do let go, you want to let go into emptiness. And at a very simple level, emptiness is not an experience. It's the lack of experience, where nothing is there. There is no experience. And yet that space has the ability to accept any experience at all. The whole range of what's possible. If you go into emptiness, all of a sudden you let go and there is no binding. Most experiences are something binding something. And that's the nature of experience. If you do release into emptiness, just let your mind expand. Let that space that's inside you expand. A person who has been in a straitjacket for a long time can take that straitjacket off, and that's a good thing. It feels good. So you let yourself feel good. The moments when people move into emptiness are normally some of the happier moments of their life. So enjoy it, because it's not going to last very long. When it's over, that space that went from being the size of a pin and grew to the size of a room is going to start shrinking back to the size of a pin. We will talk later about what you do then. But for right now, just get the release. Let it happen. After the release begins to go back to a normal size, just be okay with this. Do not seek to recreate the experience. You should not try to make it happen again. Although every time you release into inner space, it is going to happen. But don't try to create the experience. And this is very important. Don't make up a story about how you're going to recreate the experience and why it's going to be great to recreate the experience. There is a very old statement in Greek philosophy by Heraclitus which said, you can't step in the same river twice. Because the second you step into the water, the current moves, and the same water is not there. So you can't step in the same place twice. So let's close. sending all benefit gained from this practice out to help all the sentient creatures of the universe. Any last minute thoughts or questions? Well,
Good
No, I'm
class
looking
today,
forward.
David. Thank you.
Yes, very good class. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to having time in the next few weeks. So, yeah.
well, have great holidays, and I look forward to seeing you in the new year.
Thank
Yes,
you, David. You as
definitely.
well. Same to
Okay.
you,
Yeah.
Joanne.
Bye-bye. You
Bye
too,
bye.
Carol.
David, by the way, I'm sending you a book recommendation I just finished. Love
Oh,
this book. It's called Go as a River.
ooh,
Wonderful. Oh, yeah.
I like
It
the
really
title.
yeah, it touches on discrimination against indigenous people through the lives of a woman who lived through it. So fiction,
Hmm.
of course, but really well written and I thought well done. So I don't know, just really, some books just you just can't put down. This was one. This was one.
Oh, great.
So I'll
Thanks.
I'll send you the title. And
Good.
yeah, yeah. Have a good holiday, David, and I will be in touch. But I think the next class I'm going to have to audit on my own because Ray will just be getting home from the hospital that week. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so that's going to be a busy week.
Well,
But
really good luck with all of that to both of
thank
you.
you. Yeah, thank you, David. I appreciate it. And it looks pretty optimistic so far, and we just yeah, we'll just keep that positive energy coming.
Good.
Okay.
All right. Hang
Take
in
care.
there.
All
Bye
righty.
bye.
Take care. Thank you, David. Bye-bye.
She was there.